Today is Small Business Saturday, a day when consumers are encouraged to do our holiday shopping at small, locally owned stores and businesses. And in a shopping season when so many items are stuck out at sea, you can still find holiday gifts that were manufactured right here at home.
The buzz of making in mills and factories around the country may make the season bright.
Oh, we ship them usually within 24 hours.
That's 24 hours after an order comes into Janet Wishnia's American Blossom Linen Mill in Georgia.
Everything is done here in the United States. We have people that spin the yarn, weave the fabric, manufacture the boxes.
Want a massage chair made from Texas? Call Tom Lee at LaRocco.
People have a hard time getting the product from overseas. We have a full inventory.
How about organic cotton Zacano socks Gina Locklear makes in Alabama?
Our October sales are up around 80% so far this year. So something is going on, and we're not quite sure what.
Finding U.S.-made products has been made easier by USALovelist.com, a website Sarah Wagner created and runs from an unlikely place. So this is it. The office is the laundry room.
This is my office. It's cozy.
With others helping from their homes, more than 5,000 U.S.-made brands are listed by state. Mr. Ice Bucket Ice Buckets, okay. Tandoor Chef Frozen Foods. Now, those are things I would never even think to look for.
And there's plenty more.
Baby toys, outdoor toys. How about that? Look at that. Mississippi. What's posted meets the Federal Trade Commission's USA-made requirements. All significant parts and processing that go into the product must be of U.S. origin.
Right.
In tracking visits to her website, Sarah Wagner saw a 500% spike when much of the country shut down. Since October, it's up 25%. But so what can't people get?
A toaster is a big one that it drives them crazy. They really want an American-made toaster. They can't get small electronic items.
What would need to change for those pieces to be manufactured here again?
Entirely new manufacturing facilities would need to be built.
But in an old Georgia mill facing bankruptcy, Janet Wishnia and her husband have reimagined the linen business she inherited.
Our company was started in 1931 by my grandfather in Philadelphia.
In Georgia, the Thomaston mill they saved makes American Blossom linens, a new brand threaded with cotton grown without pesticides.
One of the big things is it's made out of West Texas organic cotton.
And they ship in USA-made boxes that are,
they're recycled, yep.
Tom Lee's recliner chairs include lessons learned as a military contractor.
We have several projects for U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force.
The engineering he and his brothers studied after immigrating from Vietnam drives the company, along with what happened when the war ended.
He put my dad 7 years in they call re-education camp. But after, thank you to the U.S. government, they sponsor our family to the U.S.
42 patents later.
American dream.
The organic socks Gina Locklear designs and makes come from Fort Payne, Alabama,
Which is formerly known as the sock capital of the world.
Half the country's socks were once made there.
So when the mills closed, I personally had friends who were affected by it because their parents had lost their jobs.
A modest museum downtown commemorates 100 mills that shut down. Her family's was one of the few hanging on when she finished college.
One reason why I started this was because I wanted to talk about our family story, about why it's so important to support things that are made here in our country.
Lovelist.com started with a journey too. In 2011, in a Winnebago on a family road trip.
I started to notice that some of these small towns were delightful places. Other small towns had seen better days. And I realized that the difference between those towns was whether they were making something.
That's when her treasure hunt began.
I started it as a Twitter account to see what kind of level of interest there was, just to see if people still cared about American Made.
Did they?
And they did. There was instant interest, and that grew into the site.
The links to the products go along with some advice, too. What would you tell folks out there in the market for this gift-giving season?
I would encourage shoppers to remember the businesses that were there for them during these last couple of difficult years.
It's really up to the consumer.
Every single one product that I buy makes a difference to a business and makes a difference to a worker whose job is part of that business.
And this trend of U.S. companies sending jobs overseas began in 1980. We lost 7.5 million U.S. manufacturing jobs in the last 30 years. It is just incredible to see the possibility of it coming back.
Great ingenuity.
Sign me up for socks from Fort Payne, Alabama.
I didn't know. Sock capital of the world at one point.
I'll take them.